It was heartwarming and endearing to hear both Shuri and Kathy speak so fondly of Larry Hagman, who played the legendary character of JR. Did you know that Larry Hagman is the only actor to appear in every single episode?
Well, I got to admit, I think that was by design because literally everyone, every episode, what is JR going to do next? But of course, the actor himself, Larry Hagman, was a man of heart and had touched many people beyond the cast and crew of Dallas.
We found a local legend, Chuck DeVitis, who was friends with Larry and was gifted a rare belt buckle from him personally. That sounds really cool, so let's hear from him.
So Chuck, we have an episode here where we're kind of tied in with this Dallas reunion that's going to be going on at Oscars in Palm Springs.
Right.
And come to find out, you have a great story in regards to your friend, Larry Hagman.
On occasion, I'd run into him at the Baja Cantina in Malibu when he wasn't on set. And this one day I was in there, we drank on his side. He walked in, there was a taco bar, chips, salsa. Larry would kind of hold the court there. So one day I go in and I notice he has his belt buckle on. And I go, Hag, and I said, I like that buckle. He said, you like his buckle? I said, yeah. He says, you know what? He says, my good buddy, Joe Duncan. No, I don't remember if he said Joe Duncan or my good buddy had this made for me. He says, as he was taking it off like this.
And you're wearing the belt buckle today?
Yes.
Wow.
I've been wearing it since 1981.
Oh my
He
goodness.
took it off. He says, my good buddy, J.R. Duncan had this made for me. He said, I never liked that son of a bitch anyway. I like you better, it's yours.
He gave you the
And
belt
he gave me the buckle.
Oh,
And I've
no.
been wearing it since 1981.
So here's something else that you had mentioned to me in our conversation regarding this, is that this is the only original belt buckle.
This is what he told me when he gave it to me. I didn't pay any attention to it whatsoever. I guess Duncan decided to distribute them, make copies, and Val looked it up on Google and the whole thought. And sure enough, there's a buckle, same, everything, except for the trademark on the back. Yes. The
One of a
trademark
kind.
was different. So I think what Lorimar Productions did was replicated them, and there's a whole bunch of them. But this was an original, according to Larry, as he handed it to me in person.
Wow. Chuck, thank you so much.
Always
Appreciate the
always
story,
good to
right?
see you guys.
Last but not least, we would like to be hearing from some of the iconic ladies of Dallas, Audrey Landers and Joan Van Ark. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Joan Van Ark as well as Audrey Landers here with us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, great to be here.
Well, so it's a special day here in Palm Springs. This is the Dallas reunion. So why don't you tell us both how Dallas really impacted your life?
I had been a child actor and a teenage actor, and then Dallas came along, and suddenly the whole world thought I was discovered overnight. And it launched my music career. I was a singer, songwriter all through my teens, and then I had the opportunity to sing on Dallas, and my characters sang all the songs that I wrote, and it launched a whole music and recording career, my multi-platinum albums throughout the world based on Dallas.
I can't deny it takes two to fly.
So it definitely changed my life.
And what about you, Joan? How did Dallas really impact your life as well?
Very much so, because I got the offer to come and do it. And I thought, no, I can't do that, because as an actress, I do a lot of voiceovers and did. And I was doing all the commercials for Estee Lauder. And they would put me up at the Plaza Hotel, give me a huge per diem, which I go downstairs and buy boots from Bendel's.
Ooh,
downstairs,
I love
it was
Bendel's.
nice. But I was due to go and record for 2 days. And I said, I just cannot possibly handle trying to do a good job on Dallas, which was already had heat, and get to New York and do 2 days of solid, all voiceovers, all me. But my husband, I have to thank John Marshall, ex-NBC news reporter, high school sweethearts. I have to thank him for saying, yes, you can do this somehow. You have to. It's a great script. He was right. And it was all with Larry Hagman, which is the acting partner I had most often on the show. And he talked me into it. They moved my start date, came home, took a shower, and went right out the door to the Dallas set. And the rest is history. I mean, because that company of actors, which you well know, thanks to this celebration that we're having here at Oscars, is for an iconic, once-in-a-lifetime kind of show.
Right. And so behind the scenes, did you feel like you were almost like a separate family? What was the behind the scenes like for both of you?
You know, it was a very fun set to be on. Everyone was really harmonious, and they had great sense of humor, but everything was so professional, and the set, the filming ran like clockwork. And it was, I think, in part, obviously, the directors, the crew, and all that, but it was because the actors just had great chemistry together, and there was, despite sometimes you would see in the papers there was fighting and this and that, that was just publicity.
So, you know what, I was a big fan of the series. I remember every Friday night, 9 o'clock, I was about 22 years old, right in front of my 19-inch TV, and, you know, in her living room to watch the show. And I remember everything. In fact, I even watched the show again about a year or so ago on Amazon, and I watched the entire series all the way through.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I know you two really well. And you, madame, you know, basically, you know, working in that coffee shop, I remember.
Yes, but Valine had to have it.
That's right.
When it spun off, though, with Gary and Val moving to California.
And you guys were Knots Landing.
They gave it to me for the first season of Knots Landing.
Yeah.
I still had the accent, but dropped it. They said, you know, now we think you're settled in California in the cul-de-sac.
Right.
You don't need to do the accent, which I kind of missed because I thought it was her.
Yeah.
And I loved her. And I loved Ted Shackelford, who ended up my Gary Ewing.
And sometimes I would feel so bad for you on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, because, you know, I mean.
I get it. You know, I got thousands of fan letters constantly saying, why are you still with that guy? Why don't you get rid of him already? And, you know, there's something to say for love, okay?
And then I loved you and Gary together.
Oh.
And
he got married actually, I got married 4 times. Different times, because that's a soap opera. You know, you got to keep musical husbands.
You know, here again, as a fan, it would upset me when JR would try to run you guys out of town or get you out of town, because you guys were really great on the show. I was always hoping you guys would stay on, you know? And Bobby and Gary were, you know, tight.
Rivals. Well, no. But brotherly, yes, but someone, because Gary was always the black sheep of the family, so they said, the producers and the writer.
Yeah.
David Jacobs, God bless David, who brought both shows to CBS.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it for taking the time.
We're excited to be at Oscars
This is-
and the celebration.
Most important, if you can't make it these few days, definitely tell all the listeners, all the people watching, that they should go to Oscars no matter what, because it's a great
spot.
night.
Yes, we promote Oscars on a regular basis. They're very good to us as well, and we look forward to many more situations like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
the
much.
reunion. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the special edition of California Limelight, where we covered the Dallas reunion and heard from the legends themselves.